In this video, we are going to quickly talk about the image module in RackForms and how it allows us to pull images that are actually stored in a database. So very quickly then, as an initial demo here, I have a database table called FBDemo, and I have some images within that table. And I'm now using my image module here to pull those images out and display them at runtime. We're actually creating thumbnails on the fly right here, and we're pulling multiple images. So how do we actually do this? Well, let's go ahead and add an image module to our page here, and let's just start building this. So the first thing that we have to do when we want to pull an image from the database is check the box, enable database image, and then we have to fill in a few fields right here. So there's a lot of flexibility here, so these fields are going to be a little bit intimidating at first. And again, hopefully that's what this video will help fix. But of course, if you ever have questions about this or want to say this right up front, please just let us know. info@rackforms.com. Always happy to help out with questions. But hopefully, after seeing this demo here, you'll have a little bit better of a grasp. So what do we actually have to fill out? Well, if we think about it, whenever we pull something from a database, we usually need to provide a couple pieces of information. The first is, what is the table name? The second is, which column do we want the raw data to come from, in this case, image data. And then finally, we need to know what is the column name of what we're using an ID for, right? So usually I have to say something like, for example, select image, that is this guy right here, from FBDemo, which is our table name, where ID, that is this column right here, equals 8, right? So if I want to grab this image 8 right here, I usually need those 4 pieces of information. And that's essentially what we fill in right here. So I say grab from FBDemo, the column name that has the image data, in this case image, where the ID column, in this case ID, is equal to 8. So now when I run this, we're pulling that image. Multiple images work by extending our first 4 fields right here with our entry ID fields. So if I look at my database table once again here, you'll notice that the last 2 rows right here have this age field where they have the identical value of 45. And we can actually use this then to query the database and pull these 2 rows out. So basically, I'm going to say, right, so I have a column here, age, that has a value that I want to query on. So I'm going to say age right here for entry ID column name. Then I'm going to say the value that I'm looking for is 45. So I'll go ahead and put that in. What this is saying is right, before you actually grab the images, I want you to go ahead and query the database and look at the age column and grab me all the rows that have 45 as the value. Then take those 2 rows and go ahead and perform the image query, right? So grab the age column, see how many match with the value 45, then perform my image lookup. And now when I run this here, you can see here that's exactly what we do. Just like our guy in the bottom here, we are now pulling our initial image using that first query, 8, and then we're pulling those 2 images once again. Of course, in most cases, I would probably not have this guy, so I'm only repulling images based on that entry ID. And finally, of course, in these guys right here, I simply put a max width on for that image size. So I could just say 100 right here, and now we get these little tiny thumbnails. So that's how we can use RackForms in the image module to pull images from the database. Finally, I should say in closing here, that what makes this kind of an interesting module right here is that most of the fields in this are actually optional. So you'll notice here under most of these fields, we actually have if blank FB image is used, if blank image data is used. Basically what this means is in most cases, if you're writing your images to the FB images table, which is a very common solution because it's convenient and we can get to it very easily using the SQL Plus module, if that's the case, well then usually we don't have to fill out any of these fields. We only need to put in an image ID, right? And RackForms will take care of all this stuff in the background for us. What this is really focusing on is, well, what if I don't have the FB images table at my disposal? What if I had an existing job or a different table? This is how we actually query these images out. But it is worth noting that if you're saving your images to the FB images table, well, this is actually a really easy way of doing it. You just need to put in one value. Again, the flexibility here is really where the power comes from. So thanks a lot for your attention. I know it's not the most exciting material, but hopefully it helps. And of course, again, if you have questions, please let us know at info@rackforms.com.